Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. What if I told you the only thing standing between you and your next big opportunity is your voice? This isn't just another program. Empower Your Message is your ticket to becoming the podcast guest everyone wants. You'll learn how to craft a pitch that gets a hell yes, show up with unshakable confidence, and drop truth bombs that leave hosts and audiences wanting more. No more playing small. No more waiting for permission. It's your time to be heard. Loud, clear, and unforgettable. Visit the link in the show notes to sign up, and let's make your voice impossible to ignore. The mic is waiting. Are you ready? Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest is Ann Klossing. She is an intuitive mentor that uses the concepts of mindset and the law of attraction. She's also a channeler for the We, a collective consciousness of creator energy, an author, and a Reiki master. Welcome, Ann. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Excellent.
So happy to be here. Finally.
Yes, we've been trying to get it done for a while, and it is lovely and amazing to have you here. I am so excited to jump in. Thank you for taking and making the time to be here with me today. With that being said, let us jump right in and get started. Let's get down to it. I want to start off and jump right into all the things spirituality here and spiritual. I'm very curious to hear how your spiritual journey began. Was there a catalyst moment in your life that led you down the spiritual path? And if so, would you mind sharing that with us?
Yes, I was probably in my early 40s. And I think I grappled with depression probably maybe even as a child, more possibly limited beliefs about myself. And no one needed to discipline me because I did it myself. I was very hard on myself, and I still have the propensity to do that. But through awareness, I've changed that. So the time was when I was spiraling out downward in a second marriage. So thankfully, we had no children in that marriage, but I didn't realize at the time that I was in a clinical depression. And we had gone to joint counseling, and that's when the counselor pointed it out to me that, that's what happens is you think you're doing fine, and then depression slips in sideways through the back door unknowingly, and you're in it again. So I reluctantly went on antidepressants again. My first bout of a major clinical depression was when I was 30. And I was on antidepressants for about 9 months. They were not working well for me. And they changed them 3 times. And it just wasn't successful for me. So what I got out of it then was exercise, some supplements. I think I was taking St. John's wort then, and just vigorous exercise. And I thought I was healed. But getting into it a second time, my father had passed. My marriage was spiraling. And when you're with a narcissist / border personality disorder line. And he was not diagnosed. I diagnosed him.
And diagnosis.
But it was like, if you ever get a chance to read Energy Vampires by Christian Northrup, it was like, check.
Wow.
Yeah. And I thank him for that, because it led me to that breaking point of spiraling down. And what antidepressants do to me is they encourage suicidal thoughts. And we had come from a counseling session, gone over the same arguments once again, and I was being badgered by him. So those constant same arguments over and over again, no solution. No matter how I would try to reason with him, I could never gain anything, or not gain anything, be understood, be listened to, be heard, be understood. So I had hit a low spot with him, and I couldn't take him anymore, and I ran out of the house. And this was on my property. I went to the north side. We had a very large garden, and on the edge of the garden, I sat with my legs crossed, hands in my face in my hands, just sobbing and uncontrollably. And then I finally, that's like, I started thinking about ways to kill myself. No, this is too icky. That's too icky. Then I thought about a place where people do it, where they just drive into a brick wall. And then all of a sudden I looked up. Something had me look up. I looked across this open area. It's a small little field. And less than 20 feet away from me was this alpha male coyote. And then I did a quick scan around, and then the entire pack was coming out of the woods and into the field.
Wow.
And that's the first time I heard the voice. And it was more or less, is this what you want? I don't remember the specific words per se.
Yeah.
Is this what you want? And it was like, in a split second, I answered no in my mind. And then it was like, what do I do? And the answer was bark. So I'm all teary-eyed. So I barked. And it came out barkle because I was just all and gross.
Yeah.
I can look back at it now and laugh because it was like, barkle, what the heck was that? It's like, good God, and you can't even muster up a good bark. So then I heard stand and growl. So I stood up, and I'm early 40s. I stand up, wiped the tears out of my eyes, and this alpha male actually took another step forward. And I'm like, this dog is a little ballsy. So then I growled, and it kind of looked at me in curiosity. And just out of nowhere, I just started growling and running after it. And then they spread. But
wow.
I had a later encounter with the same coyote. He's no longer living. That coyote brought meaning to me. The coyote was there to wake me up. But that was the first time I'd heard my inner voice. And at that point in time, it was a very strong, I would say almost God, because it was very loud and very stern, but loving. It's serious. How's that? Serious.
Yeah, that works.
Stern. And that got my attention. And I just stood there trembling. And it was like,
I'm sure.
You have to change. You have to change. And I ran back to the house, and my husband said, what is wrong? What's wrong?
Are you kidding me right now?
I told him what happened, and I just said, please leave me alone. I went inside, and I laid down, and I crashed. I was exhausted.
I'm sure.
But that's when I knew, and I'd only been on the meds maybe 3 weeks. They were doing that to me. And I thought, something's got to change here. So I sought out acupuncturist, and the first one I called, my line would cut off. I could never get through. And it forced me, because I was at arm's length away with my mom too. So with the narcissists, that's what they love to do. They like to divide and conquer. So divide and separate, divide and separate. And I was separated from my family. So my dad had died. My mom had sold a farm. I was angry and upset with her for not being included in that decision. She did the right thing because I wasn't in the right space to make any decisions anyway. And I finally picked up the phone and I called her because I knew she was going to acupuncture, and I knew it was very successful for her. So she gave me the phone number, and that was the first real big step to my healing. Within 3 weeks' time, I was off the meds. I was responding so well to the acupuncture. And then he was wonderful and just set me up with, between my chiropractor and my acupuncturist, they set me up with all these authors, Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer, Esther and Jerry Hicks, Bob Proctor. And it was just this library, and I just immersed myself in it. But that was the beginning of my unwinding. So that unwinding of the Kundalini energy, and I didn't know that at the time. And the closest thing I could call it was the dark night of the soul, which can be a breeze for some people, but for many, we resist, or I resisted, strike we, but I resisted it, and it got really wonky, really fast, really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a powerful occurrence. The coyotes and the just incredible. Thank you for sharing that, Ann. That is beautiful.
Yeah. It
and
was quite
powerful
the experience.
awakening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you share the moment that you realized you were meant to work with energy and consciousness, and what shifted inside of you?
Probably after that, it took me another year through recommendations of my acupuncturist. He gave me the name of a woman, a very trusted medium. And my dad and I were speaking, but I would say I tolerated him. And when you are surrounded, you start your day drinking at 10, 11 o'clock, and we're done by 3:30. What he would do is he'd be cordial for a minute, and then it's like he didn't like the situation with my husband. I can't blame him for words that were said, but it was not helping the situation. It was not helping it at all. But when he died, he had a massive heart attack on Christmas Eve. He went down and he got it done quickly because we laugh about it. We were just talking about it the other day. It's like there was no nursing home. There was no cancer. He had the major big one. He was out doing what he wanted to do, when he wanted to do it, and how he wanted to do it. He had a good life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and that was his regret. So that I learned through this. I finally made the call to the medium, and it was funny because Dad got trumped by my roommate's mother. I always called her my surrogate mom, and she had passed transition to pancreatic cancer. And I adored her. And once I finally got to Dad, it came out. That was a regret. He said I was the bigger person because I tried a family intervention with him. And he was very specific. He chose alcohol over his family. He wasn't going to change. He wasn't going to stop. And he said that's the biggest regret in how he treated Mom. And that's the personality side of him. Since then, I had an encounter with his soul, which is a different feel. It's the all-loving, all-knowing, no bullshit.
Yeah.
All love.
Yep.
So sorry for the expletive, but
no, it's okay. You're allowed.
It's no BS. And it was like I wasn't used to that energy. And then the question was, would you like your father? And it was like, yes, I would like my father because that's what we cling on to. We're used to that. But every now and then that energy does move in when the completeness of all that. And when I say the completeness of it, all his lives, that's the soul, the completeness of all of that.
Yeah.
You get all of that wisdom in a message. And I just got tingles on my legs. You get all of that. And that's what I get excited about is I get to do this. I get to help people and I get to serve in a way that is so unique, unlike anybody else. And it's my own unique path. And after that meeting, I started dabbling with automatic writing.
Okay.
And I started with him. I started with my dad. And it's when you play victim, when you're in that low of lows, it's really easy to play the victim.
Yes,
So
for sure.
it's writing from what's wrong with me, asking those poor me type questions, but I was getting answers. And then I realized that I was working with angels. So out of that meeting with the medium, the three angels that I was working with was Archangel Michael, because when you give your power away, you have no courage, you have no shields, you let everything in. My choice. That's a hard pill to swallow. What do you mean in choosing this? Yes, you are.
You are. Yeah.
So I had Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, obviously for healing, and Archangel Jophiel. So her is shine a light, honey. You are such a shining bright star. You just don't see it yet. And I would say that's one of my biggest hurdles is believing in myself.
That's a tough one for a lot of people. It's hard sometimes, but you got to keep going and keep doing the work and keep believing in yourself. It all starts here with us, in our hearts, in our bodies, we have everything we need within us. It's just a matter of diving in, looking inside, and trusting in ourselves enough to believe in ourselves and to love ourselves. That's what it starts with, is love. As you said before, love is everything.
And when you have very little knowledge of the metaphysics and you start dabbling in it, you can really second guess yourself. It's, is this even real? Am I just making this up?
Yeah.
So I trusted my dad. So I trusted his love. I would write his mother. I adored Grandma Klossing, and my surrogate mother from college. And she was really cool because I have a beef with you. And the beef was, and I'm like, oh my God, that is her. The beef was, She didn't process, which is why she ended up with the pancreatic cancer. She kept all of these emotions and feelings in instead of expressing them, instead of having those sweaty 10-minute conversations with the people you love. You just put up with it and then you stuff it down. That's where the disease comes from.
That's right.
And who else did I? Oh, my second husband's daughter passed away at age 29 of a heart attack. So, yeah, she would come through. But what was so soothing about her was it's like the reassurance that I did everything right, that I did nothing wrong in that relationship, and that she was proud of me for how I handled the situation. He was very controlling, and basically when she died, I've got a daughter from my first marriage. The obituary was so weird that it made it look like my daughter was his daughter. And it really confused a lot of people. So it just, it's all those things that carry through, and you can get pissed off about it, or you can just kind of like shrug your shoulders and say, he is who he is. No, this is my daughter. Mark is her dad, blah, 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 blah. But it's that continual, every time it opens up a wound, or it can, if you react to it that way.
That's right. So, and that's the thing, is we all have that choice, and it's up to you whether you react or not, right?
Spirit will provide you the answers in a format that you're ready to receive. So in those early days of me dabbling in the automatic writing, one of the common themes from my dad was he would end it with, be who you were born to be. Okay, that's cool. So then I have another communication with him, be who you were born to be. Then I'd start with Archangel Michael, and he'd end it with, be who you were born to be. And finally it was like, WTF, what do you mean? I was mad. It was like, I don't know who I am right now. And that whole, just the duality of it all. And it's not a duality. We're not separate from it. So 10 years into this, I finally see the oneness of it, bringing it together. It's like, screw the duality. If you want to stay in the duality of it, your soul adores you because your soul picked you so that you could have this wonky life, and your soul gets to feel it all. And then having a party while doing it, whether you're down in despair or if you're way up here in joy. Still having the party. Woohoo, having the experience. You feel like shit, but but
for sure.
Your soul will give you one more opportunity. So I looked at the course of my life, and I had all these similar situations, similar experiences with the same substance. I hadn't learned from it yet. So each crappy experience was another opportunity where the soul says, let's try this. Maybe this one, it'll hit.
The universe will keep giving you the signs.
Closer and closer until you have the epiphany and you go, oh, I get it now.
Until you finally get the 2x4 in the back of the head.
Exactly.
It starts out with pebbles, then it goes to rocks, then it goes to boulders, and then it's a 2x4. Okay, wake up. I'm trying to tell you something here. Listen to me when I'm telling you.
And then your body brings in the wrecking ball.
Yeah.
If you're still not listening, then your body's, well, this will get her attention.
Yep, 100%. This is the only way we're going to get her attention.
Yeah. So your body has the wrecking ball.
Yeah. What is one internal shift that completely changed the trajectory of your life?
I think I will use a new one. So realizing you're ever learning, you're ever transforming, and you're constantly changing. That's not going to change. You're going to change. So my latest epiphany was realizing what service means. You can pull oracle cards and it'll say be in service. Well, what does that mean? And what it means for me is, first and foremost, which I've learned from the collective consciousness, is to be in service to the self first, which is my passion, is getting people to understand that, merging the two, that I'm not anybody special. Everyone channels. It's channeling the inner beingness of you so that you can serve that. That's the you. That's serving you. That is not selfish. That's sacred.
No.
Sacred. So being in service, and the epiphany came to me was in June. I took a Hay House boot camp, writer's boot camp.
Okay.
And it was an online thing. And Colette Barron-Reed was a guest. And she talked about being in spirit with the book, which means being in service to the book. And she gave this litany of questions. And if anybody wants them, I'd be happy to give them to them. It put me in such a new light of not asking myself, not asking the angels, asking the consciousness of my book. Am I being a good servant? Am I serving you well? Not a good. So am I serving you well? And listening and writing and getting those intuitive hits. So being in service to myself, which is the self-care and non-negotiable items that I do on a daily basis, being in service to my book that I'm writing, also being in service to my platform channel. And that has enlightened me.
Beautiful.
Helped me prioritize. If you're chasing a shiny thing over here.
Yeah. You're right. It has to start with us. We have to be in of service to ourselves first, which then in turn allows us to pour into whatever other things we have in our lives, people, community, platforms, books, whatever it is. But you have to start filling your own cup first. You have to. It's not selfish, but the conditioning that we've all been brought up with would lead us to believe otherwise. And it does for a lot of people. That's selfish. You can't put yourself first. You have to think about your kids. You have to think about your partner. You have to think about this person, that family, all of this shit. It's bullshit. You start with yourself first. That's where you begin. Then you can give to others.
Yes. When you are aware of your emotional state of being. So if one of the statements that absolutely make me come out of my skin is when someone says I'm a hot mess. All right, let's go back to vibration, law of attraction, and your right to free will to think that way. Why do you want to say to the universe, I'm a hot mess, and invite all that in?
But people don't have the self-awareness though to realize that their words and thoughts have power.
So if you wake up feeling that you're a hot mess, then all that hot mess runs over to your kids. Your kids pick up on it. Now you've got kids that are hot messes. You got a spouse or a partner that's a hot mess. Stop.
Yeah. Get yourself straight first. That's right. Be mindful of the things you say, the words you use, the thoughts you choose. You have to be very mindful because what you put out there comes right back and then it ripples out to everyone else around you. They get that runoff as well. It's important, but you got to have the self-awareness to realize that first. A lot of people don't realize that.
So if you start your day and you find yourself with a negative thought, shift to appreciation. Appreciate that the bed you're sleeping in. Find
gratitude is the attitude.
Find something, then ask. Sit with a moment of quiet and just, how may I best serve today?
Yeah, absolutely.
And your soul might say, get out of the wonk.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it's also learning to trust your intuition. And this is a whole other thing where our intuition, every single one of us has it. It's just been in most of us tamped down so far. And then, as you mentioned, it's like, is this real? Should I trust this? Can I trust this? It's about that it's there and tapping into it and utilizing it and try little things, test it. Just little simple, inconsequential things to start to strengthen that intuition and that belief in your gut again.
Exactly.
How did you first notice the presence of something greater guiding you, even before you fully understood it?
As a child, I was raised in a Northern Baptist church. That was very scary. We had really calm minister, but every now and then you would get the evangelist that basically, if you have any fun, you're going to hell. You're just going straight to hell. But I was fondled by my maternal grandfather between the age of 3 and 4. And I think that was a set mark for my way of thinking, my response to that. And the dogma of Satan, evil, I'm going to go to hell. So at an early age, I had horrible nightmares, and I would have horrible reoccurring nightmares. And the only thing that would settle me back down is that I would pray to Jesus to come and help be with me. And what I recall, I was probably about 10 at that point in time, was just this inability to get to sleep because I was so afraid that I was going to have that dream again. And when I said that prayer, I just felt like this calm energy around me. And I actually felt like he was at the headboard with me so I could fall asleep. And that's how I got over it. But, then you get to be smarter than everybody teenager. And I don't need religion anymore. And I just let it go. And I occasionally I'd have nightmares, or I would sleepwalk like in my early teens, have funky things. So it was like I knew there was a presence, but I couldn't pinpoint it. And then I was the good girl. I went to college. I did all the societal norms. You go to college, you get the job, you get the career. Life's going to be great. It's time to get married now. It's time to have a kid. And that'll change the marriage. I'll have a child because that's going to make me happy. All these things were going to make me happy. Reaching for it outside the box again. It's out there. God is up there. Now, it's all right in the center of you.
He's in you. Yep.
Yeah. All in the center.
One consciousness.
Yes.
One love.
Yeah. I would say the first walkie experience I had was after my first divorce. Madeline was young. She was 4 at the time we separated and 5 by the time the divorce went through. And I had moved to a nearby town, and we went to go to Walmart to get groceries and everything. And I had loaded the car. I loaded her first, and then I loaded the car. Car was locked. Keys were in it. It was hot. And I went on panic mode. And I was pretty sure my escort, you had to hit the hatch. You had to physically push it down. So if you push the locks down on the door, the driver's side door, they all went down. And then the back hatch had a separate one. And I was 100% sure I hit that. So I'm in a panic mode, go around, I check all 4 side doors. And then I had this thought of check the hatch one more time. I checked the hatch and it opened. And that's where my wallet and my keys were, because I had unloaded the groceries. I set them aside
and put them there. Yeah.
That was probably the first time. And then I would have, my first husband had passed away. He was having heart surgery and they lost him on the table. I felt his presence a lot around my daughter. When we were separated, in those time frames, I felt like somebody was with me. And a lot of times it's that when you get that feeling, and now I know it because I'm used to it. When you get that feeling that someone's around you, they are. If you have a thought of someone maybe you haven't thought of for a long time, either in the living or in the transition. So they're there. They're there with you. My daughter has moved to Nebraska. I don't feel that distance. She's with me. The grandsons are with me. That's how I deal with it. I am so proud of her for living her own life and being independent and raising a family. Is it a little harder than I think it should be for her? Probably. But the fact that she's independent and it's a day's drive away. If I really need to see that, then I can just go drive. But in the meantime, she's in my heart. She's in my heart. And I could hear somebody say, just call her. You don't know my daughter. She doesn't answer her phone. Well, FaceTime or Zoom.
Yeah.
She lives on a ranch with her husband. So they're like all over the place.
Yeah.
So I think it's remote here in Southwest Wisconsin. And it's about the same distance because I had to point that out to her. So her doctoring is like a good 2 hours away. Serious doctoring, they either go to Omaha or Denver. So they're really out there. They're in the range. They're actually on the Oregon Trail, but really unique area. And I'm happy for them because they're doing what they want to do.
What is one truth about human potential that most people overlook, but you've witnessed again and again?
Belief in the self. It all starts there.
Yeah.
Loving yourself. And We're all human. We have this personality that we put on this pedestal, or I put on the pedestal. And in the big picture, my Reiki master teacher used a tarot card. I don't remember which one it was, but there's the individual standing there, and then next to them is this little white dog. And she said, this is the personality. This is the ego. This is how it should be proportioned. And it's the exact opposite. And some of us use our personality, our ego, like a pit bull or a guard dog, a dog that has been trained to protect viciously. And it's not there. That it's getting to know your personality in such a way, it's detaching from it.
Yeah.
There's a book, I'll think of it in a bit. It's old. It was written by a minister. It's anonymous. The gist of it is Impersonal Life. That is the name of the book. In Impersonal Life, which is detaching yourself from the personality. So human nature is detach ourselves from source. Yeah. And it's impossible to detach yourself from source because source lives within you.
That's right.
That is your intuition.
Yeah, for 100%.
Into it. Should say into you.
Yeah, exactly. What practices do you implement to help you strengthen your connection to higher consciousness when life gets chaotic?
We just had that conversation before we came on. So we've had a lot of chaos lately with family members and emergency rooms and all kinds of fun stuff. One thing, I'll give you an example. So at 6:30 in the morning on Tuesday, I got the call from my mother that her partner was in ER and a very rough night. So I had to switch gears and go down and let her dog out and take care of things on that end. And then I did some things because my sister was camping, took care of some things over there. Totally rocked my morning. So a typical morning for me is getting up, letting my dog out, having a cup of coffee, that ritual of a sinful cup of coffee. And then I become quiet and then I journal. So my non-negotiable, if my world gets rocked like it did on Tuesday, was to let's just start the day over. I'm not working per se to a 9-to-5 job right now. So I have that luxury. I didn't have any appointments that day.
Yeah.
So it was like hit the restart button. And I then got consumed with the emergency in my mind and just doing things. And I forgot. And I looked the next morning, I actually did do my journaling. So it's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
So I either do the journaling or I sit in solitude. One or the other, and both is what I do on a normal day.
Okay. So, and that helps with the chaos.
So I have a very active mind. That's what gets me in trouble. The yada, the monkey mind. So for me, if I am not intentional about going in and being quiet, getting connected to my third eye and going on a fun journey with the angels, my higher self or whoever wants to join me, to sit in solitude for me, I see all the shining things. The to-do list comes in, and that's normal. It's totally normal. So to help me with that, I was drinking way too much caffeine. I had to decrease. They'd love for me to eliminate it, but I'm not ready to let go of that sinful cup of coffee because I love it and I enjoy it. So that can get my mind cranking. So what I do, if you can do nothing, just focus on your breath. Let the thoughts come and go back to the breath, go back to the breath. If you're like me and you don't like to focus on your breath, then because this is boring. Can't somebody take me on a journey? Come on. So to get into stillness, then listen for the sounds of the outside world. Could be the fan blade, could be traffic, could be a car going by. For me, it's a tractor. Could be a bird I hear. So it's okay. There's a cardinal. There's a sparrow. Oh, there's a new one. And then it's like return to the silence. Look for the gap in between the silence. Cardinal, gap. Sparrow, gap. Fan, gap. Plane, gap. Whatever it is, go back to the gap. When you get used to coming back to the gap, that's when Spirit's going to throw you a bone. So I'm a dog lover. Biscuits. I'm going to throw you a dog bone. Throw you a bone. Could be an image. Could be a word. could be a phrase, could be anything.
Yeah.
Commonly it's imagery for a lot of people, but some are that verbal. They will hear.
Yeah. Okay. In your experience, what's the difference between manifesting and truly co-creating with creator energy?
I personally, this is a personal thing, I don't care for the word manifestation.
Okay.
I think there was such a buzz around the law of attraction, The Secret, and all that. And I'm not slamming them by any means. They're wonderful people, wonderful teachers that were all part of that collaboration. Manifesting to me, and this is Ann's version, not we, is that you're looking for things. You're looking for things.
Okay.
Whereas co-creation can be about the things, because we all need things.
Yep.
There's things we desire, whether it's the hot red car or whatever it is for you. But for me, the co-creation is the book. What are you going to co-create that makes that you respond, not makes, you respond in such a way that it brings you joy? For you, you found the connection with food and creating.
Yeah.
And if you sing, that's your soul going, yeah, Bradalicious. That is co-creating to me. So being in service to the higher self, the source, the God, the creation, whatever you want to call it. And what's next? It's such a beautiful question. What's next? And then you might get an image. So for me, it was the hell you want me to do what? I built a medicine wheel on my property, 60 feet wide. Now, I don't know what it's meant for. I thought that I was going to be going down and having retreats and whatnot. I think it is in the plan, but every time I did, something came up to throw that off. So now, the medicine wheel is for Ann's use. It's for Ann's use. And I know there's more to come with it. First, co-creation is focus and intention and what makes your heart sing. What has you reacting in such a way that you are so freaking into it that time is
so lit up.
Is it music? Is it yoga? Is it art? Is it being a mom? Is it being a dad? Is it being a buddy? Is it being a coach? Is it what? I don't know. Only you know. And then think of it like trying on clothes. If the idea comes up and it's not working, then that came from your ego. Yeah, if you keep, and maybe it could be a combination of the two, but maybe that's not what your soul wants you working on at this point in time. So like for me, the retreats kept falling off. Something else would come up. I had one, I thought, okay, we're going to book it out a year in advance, which I did. I had probably 13 people really wanting to come. And then about 3 months before I was going to have the event, Jack Canfield announced his retirement in his last in-person event. One by one, they all started backing out because I hadn't collected money. This is new for me. One by one, they all started falling off. And I'm like, not supposed to happen. And I was okay with it. That's it. I actually felt relief. So when I felt relief, then I knew I wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you for explaining that. So many people struggle to align with, speaking of the law of attraction, align with the law of attraction. What's the single biggest mindset block you see keeping them from their desires?
Awareness. You have to, not have to, strike that. The law that comes first, which is primal, and this is a Bob Proctor law. He hammers down on Mary Morris. He teaches about this. The law of vibration is primal. It's primary to the law of attraction. So if you are in any way, if you are not matching the vibration of what you want, that's what holds it at bay. So I'll use myself as an example. My finances. I'm not going to get there if I'm still worried about paying my bills. If I'm still in lack, oh my God, I'm not going to make this. I've been grappling with this for 3 years. So the epiphany's starting to happen that says, you got to be at peace with where you're at, being at peace with credit card debt, being at peace with it. And I journal about this and I receive information, and the information on it was, what a bold move, Ann. What a bold move to I could look at it as paying out the nose, or I could just say, this beautiful company over here is affording me to be able to, I'm exchanging that for my time to focus on the book. I'm exchanging that for time to focus on my family and be there for whoever needed me, because I'm not holding a job from 9 to 5. That I could be there for my daughter. I could run to Iowa City. That I could run to Prairie ER for 2 days. That, do you notice what I'm doing? Appreciation. So what came through to me, and I just want to share this quick. What came through when I was working with a client on Monday, love her to death, was, as we were talking, what came through was, come to the level of stillness to hear and learn the wisdom of the soul. Come to the level of stillness. Stillness is the deal.
Yep.
If you want to get to know you, you need to be brave
Sit
enough,
in stillness.
brave enough to get to know you. So that's where I've realized recently that I'm afraid of source. I'm afraid of source. I am no longer afraid of source. I am getting to know source. I love source. I love knowing that the universe has my back. I love knowing that the money pot for me is going to come back tenfold. I love knowing that when I become still, I hear truth. I hear compassion. And every now and then I get a bone.
I love it. What is one of the most surprising things that you've learned about the way people attract or repel opportunities?
The inability to see it, the inability to take the step back. And I'm guilty of it as charged. When we're in it,
we all are.
When we're in it, whatever it is, that's when that small little dog increases 5 times. It's a little bit, then a little bit more. And then that dog is chasing the rabbit down the hole.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it's the inability to see it.
Okay.
And my answer to that is, you find an accountability partner. You find a partner in believing, if you're in the Mary Morrissey world. And you also, on top of that, get in a mastermind. Because those people, and I advise not to have a family unless you have a very open-minded family. It's too close, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Too close.
I would agree.
Because those are your, was it the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire show? You get a lifeline. These are your lifeline people.
Yes.
These are your lifeline people, where you get to make that call or send that text that says, I'm having a really shitty day today and I can't look at this any other way. Help me see the bigger picture. So it's having that second set of eyes and having the people believe in you, no matter how large, how wonky the experience or your dream and your vision is. And they believe in you 100% and they have your back. That's how you become aware.
Beautiful. For someone who has never experienced channeling, how would you explain connecting with a collective consciousness like we?
Stillness.
The ability and the want to get still.
If the stillness, I absolutely adore automatic writing because that's how I started. That was my comfort zone. And it is, when you sit down with pen and paper, spend just a few seconds to take those deep cleansing breaths. And that's inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. And if you're really stressed out, you'll push it out your mouth like you're pushing air through a straw, because that really slows the nervous system down, puts you in a state of peace, calm, rest, digest, and the fun one, creativity. So take about 3 of those. You can also do the inhale to 4, hold for 4, out for 8. That's another way to do it.
Yeah.
I always say stick to empowered questions. So let's back it up even farther. Say you've got a lot of gunk going on. You really are not happy with your life. There's something traumatic going on. Maybe you are getting a divorce and your spouse, soon-to-be ex-spouse is giving you. If you have a lot of anger and blame and that type of emotion, then I would suggest doing a dump talk. You're going to swear at them. You're going to let them have it. And then you're going to destroy it. You're not going to keep it. You're not going to keep that energy in your house. you're going to destroy it, whether that's ripping it up, putting it in a shredder, or if you're in the wintertime here, we burn with wood, it goes down in the big cauldron. You burn it. But that's only if you have a safe place to do it. Then get quiet. Take your breathing 3-4 times. Then ask that empowered question. In what ways may I perceive this differently? What would love or God or source or creation do here? Those type of questions to help you step outside of that energy of the situation so that you can get a new perspective in.
Beautiful. How do you personally stay grounded when channeling messages from a higher frequency?
I envision myself, and I don't do this all the time, and I would probably be a good consideration to do it all the time, but you can envision yourself. So I talked about this medicine wheel. So the medicine wheel is a circle, and then you just put your north-south line in and your east-west.
East-west.
So if you look at the sphere and you divide it in half, the northern half of the sphere represents divine masculine energy. The southern half represents feminine energy. There's a North Star and a South Star. So if you can imagine yourself, you're going to connect this column of light, which is your energy centers, up to that North Star, all the way down to the South Star. You can imagine yourself grounded that way. You can imagine roots coming out of your feet and your toes. The tap root is your column of light, meeting down with the divine feminine. And all that energy is around you because you're in the center of the circle. And all of that creator energy is coming around and down, and it's moving all around you. So you're grounded with, you're attached to your higher, and you're also to that earth star. So you're grounded that way. I have recently, because I was dealing with anxiety a little bit, is a selenite tree, and I like it because I can wrap my hands around it.
Yeah.
This will zap me right away. So I love this. I normally keep it by my bed, but it was funny. I had moved it back, and this topic came up with my client. So helping her with the anxiety and grounding. So that is one way I do it. Sometimes I just go outside after I do a channeling session. Sometimes I'm a little loopy or tired, and I'll just go outside and put my feet on the ground. Simply just go outside.
Yeah. Earthing.
Yeah.
Okay. Fresh air.
Yeah.
Nothing. Nature always does the trick. Always.
And sometimes I am not vegan or anything like that. I don't hold that against any, but sometimes I'll get the hit that maybe I need to eat something, and they'll show me that. And sometimes it is cloven hoofed because that's a earthbound animal.
Yep, for sure. If you stripped away all the labels, channeler, mentor, connector, who are you at your core? What name would your soul give you?
I'm laughing. This is what just came up was Earth Angel.
I love it. Beautiful. What would you say is one of the most profound messages or moments that you've received while you're channeling, and how did that change you? How did that moment change you?
It's every moment. Every time I channel, I walk away with something new. I have yet to walk away and go, oh, that was given before. That was boring.
Yeah.
Recently in my newsletter, we talked about grace and what grace is, which I'm trying to get some interaction with my email people, and it's working out beautifully because I had one reach out to me. If this is what grace means, then what's mercy? And that goes out, actually, probably posted this morning. Mercy was very interesting. Mercy is an outdated term. So mercy is of a human construct, and it was developed in the time of the hierarchy of the kings. The people are subservient to the king. The king will give mercy too. So the question was then, why does Michael have a band of mercy angels? Because those angels come at our time of need. So the time that you give mercy is to yourself. Cut yourself some slack and give yourself that mercy. So the mercy angels come to, this is a parable. I'm trying to remember how they put it. basically to hold your head above water.
Yeah.
So that they can elevate you high enough so that you can see the reflection back at you of king and queen. Give yourself that mercy to see that you are the divine king and the divine queen, regardless of whether you're male or female.
Yeah.
You're both.
Absolutely. Yep.
You're both.
For sure.
In energy.
Yes, absolutely. What does it mean to you to lead spiritually in a world that, as we know, it often values speed and noise and ego over depth and truth?
Stillness.
I see a theme here, Ann.
Stillness. Because
that common golden thread
is, yes, the common golden thread. And that's why, so we're going to talk about the 3 laws here real quick and why I'm so passionate about them. So law of vibration, you're a vibrational being. My hair vibrates at a different rate that my skin does to make me me. My heart, the whole 9 yards. We're a vibrational being. So this is just a small part of who we truly are, which is that soul. So when the personality is giving the power away, that's what we're going to attract into our life. Where if we're in a state of joy, we're going to get more joy-filled experiences. When we experience freedom, we're going to experience more things that amplify and show you that, yeah, you are so free. So you are so in despair to you are so free, and everywhere in between. So I want you to know, audience, that how do you get out of the despair? You get out of the despair by coming over to your soul and you find appreciation in one thing. And the next day, you find 2 things and you keep building on that. And over time, you will see that you elevate yourself out. And that's exactly what I did. But it took some time. You can snap your fingers. Anything can happen. You can heal that quickly, but I didn't believe it. I didn't believe in myself.
You have to start with that belief that it's possible.
And the law of attraction is very simple. Whatever your vibrational state of being, that will bring form to it. That's just how it works. Doesn't care. There's no bias to these laws. No. And then the law of free will says that you can be, do, or have anything. That's your emotional state of being. The being, the doing, and the having. The other side of that is that it is not your business to feel for another, think for another, act on another's behalf, and they don't have that right on you either. So bring me back to the original question. The being and the doing and the fastness of it. Yep. It's not your right to be caught up in what societal thinks. It's not your right to do that, or you can choose to contribute to it by trying to chase and be and run around like that.
Yeah.
If that's your bag, that's your thing, knock yourself out.
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. But if you're doing it to achieve because it's out there and you're chasing it, then you're going to be exhausted. That's the result you're going to get is exhaustion because you're chasing it because it's out there. In the stillness of it, you can be at peace with it as if you have it now.
I love it.
That is,
that
has taken me. I started in this in 2020, and I would listen to my mentors talk about this. And I kept asking myself, how do you do that? How do you do that when you're at cancer? Went through that dance with my partner.
Yeah.
That was me standing on the outside. That was a easier thing for me to believe than where my finances are. Because I put the faith and I put the trust in him. I put the faith and the trust in the universe. We had a commitment that we made together. He was going to ring the bell in the Carbone Cancer Center in Madison, and we were going to walk out hand in hand. When he rang that bell, when he was done with his last radiation treatment, he rung that bell. I collapsed in the nurse's arm. I fell she had to catch me. He turns around and he looks at me and says, "What's wrong with you?" And I just started bawling. They were tears of joy.
Yeah, of course.
And then I started bawling when we walked out of the facility, hand in hand, because we envisioned it. It happened. I believed. You
made it happen.
And we had good markers along the way because the chemistry was beating the shit out of him. They stopped the chemo, did a PET scan. It was pretty much all gone. They said you had to use your imagination to see these little tiny flecks on this CT scan, this PET scan.
Beautiful.
So it was like, oh my God, we could take a breather. And I was
Yeah.
terrified of the radiation, but technology has come so far that it was amazing, the technology they used. And he's had no effects from the radiation because they can pinpoint.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So it's putting yourself, when you're sick, or if you feel like a cold coming on, moving beyond it like you don't have it.
Love it.
Or you can look at it as, what lessons do I have? What is this gifting me? What is it gifting me? Maybe it's slowing down because you've been over here running and doing and chasing.
Exactly.
And your body's going, well, you've had it enough.
Yep. It's time to rest. It's time to take a break, for
Yep.
sure. How has your understanding of consciousness evolved over the years and through your journey?
I'm laughing because the first thing that came up was all of the religious dogma. So I want people to know that if you're a certain religion and that's where you get your joy from, I am not bashing that at all. So you have to realize my experience as a young girl and having an aunt who was my Sunday school teacher that would follow me through grades that taught hell, fire, and brimstone. I was scared shitless. It wasn't resonating with me as a kid. And then when I look back at all the metaphysical stuff and what I learned through that, it was like I learned that religion, and if you look at the history of it, what better way to control people than to strike fear in them?
Of course, fear is a huge controller.
Yeah.
Governments use it. Everyone uses it.
Absolutely. And it doesn't resonate for me. That doesn't mean that I don't go into church and get a message. I certainly do. But I am not a frequent flyer of religion. So the spirituality, you can have both. You can be spiritual, which is the in tune with the beingness that's in you. Also receive guidance from whatever religion you're in. There's some awesome religions out there. There's some overseas that I'd love to study. But right now, I've got a straight line to get my book done.
There you go.
So what scared me? Why do I want to go back to something that scares the daylights out of me?
Shit out of you. Yeah. Absolutely. Makes sense. Okay.
I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah. If you could channel a message to every single person listening right now, what would it be? Like the ultimate truth that they need to feel and hear.
Do you want me to tap in?
Sure.
Okay. It'll give me I need to breathe a little bit. And then I'll have you ask the question again.
Yep.
You'll know. Good day to you, Brad. Good day.
Good day. What message would you channel to every single person listening right now? What would it be? The ultimate truth that they need to feel.
Love of the self. Loving oneself. Giving and allowing yourself the attention to self. And realizing the beauty and perfection in the skin that you are in. You are perfection. You are source energy. You are the expression of creation itself. So why deny yourself the love of creation that resides within you every day? We encourage every one of you to restore the sense of self and the love for yourself, and to be that person you desire to be. And this co-creation that you have been asking about, there is nothing more beautiful than co-creation when you make connection, and it is quite simple because it resides in stillness. The stillness within you is waiting for you. Meeting this beloved soul in the stillness is life itself. You find it in the breath. You find it in the people that you meet. You find the source of all that is sitting in the grass, in a boat on the ocean, the water you drink, the soil you stand upon. The only division that exists is in the mind. We invite you to the stillness, be it with pen and paper or in quiet solitude. And you all have 17 seconds. 17 seconds of silence to make connection with the source that breathes you. We desire you to love yourself above all others so that you may feel the well-being that resides within you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When you feel this well-being, that oozes out to all you encounter. And when you feel well, that energy radiates miles. All you need to do is walk amongst the crowd, and that energy affects all around you. That is the simplicity of well-being and love. Does this answer your question?
Thank you.
You are most welcome.
Thank you. Beautiful message. Thank you very much. If someone walked away from this conversation with only one thing, what would you want that one thing to be?
And I'm speaking for myself, is to begin to realize that the opinions of others is insignificant. And that's what the personality desires. The affection of others, to be someone, to be right is another one.
Yeah.
And to be loved. So if you can focus on the love portion,
Yeah.
I think you'll be better off. And that's what I found myself was through my experiences, was wanting the approval of others and just clinging on that instead of approving. If I'm good with it, then that's all that should be.
Yeah, absolutely. As mentioned off the top, you're an author. Can you tell us about your journey as an author? I know you're currently working on your book, as you've mentioned, but you've also contributed to the book. Can you tell us about that?
In 2020, I took a course with Jack Canfield called Reignite Your Life. It was the very first course they'd offered online because COVID was happening. And I met some wonderful people out of there. And Denise McCormick became my success coach, and then also introduced me to Kate Butler, and we were in the same book, Women Who Shine. And out of my coursework, I had created this vision that I would have my book done by July 21st or July 31st of 2021. I didn't name the book. So it was Women Who Shine. And then since then, Hollis Citron, I have been in. That book is in the corner. I Love You Because I Love Me Because, which was the most fun book to create ever because it was artistic. So I put some poems in there, and she had QR codes, and I did some videos. And the picture set that I put in, I'm giving it away, was a picture of me and my mom helping Madeline get dressed for her wedding day. And the wedding dress was a century, I guess it would be a century debt. I don't know, 3-generational dress. So Mom wore it, I wore it, and then Madeline wore it. It's 3 generations. And then I did a poem or a letter to my dad. And I couldn't get through it without crying. I tried 3 takes, and I finally just admitted that you're supposed to cry on this. So I did. So it was his presence during the wedding that I could very much feel. So that was very cool. And then we're coming out with another one with Hollis, The Art of Parenting Your Own Way. So we makes their appearance in that video. So that was a 4 take because I kept not going to channel. That's not co-creation.
Yeah.
So I finally caved, and it was a channel.
Excellent. And you're working on your solo
Yes, my book is Finding You is Finding God. And it is the interrelationship between thought, universal law, soul agreements, and the human experience. So it's got a long subtitle. I'm not sure if that's going to stick, but I know the title is That Was the Other Time I Heard the Voice. You could not get any louder because I was dabbling with it. It was like finding you, finding God is finding you. And then I was going, finding you. And they went, is. And it was like really loud.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's the name.
All right, I'll take that. Yeah. Beautiful. What does freedom mean to you at the deepest level? Beyond money, status, recognition?
To me right now, freedom is drop the fear. This is that paradigm that I would say that I'm addicted to. It's an addiction. And I look at it, I appreciate my dreams because my dreams are just a reflection of what my soul is trying to tell me. And it's been bringing back like old work scenes. But when I wake up, I really feel the energy of that. And when I worked for the government, it was always planning by crisis. So it was one program after another. I had stacks of files on my desk because I could never keep up with it all. You just physically couldn't do it. You would have had to work 7 days a week with no breaks and no vacation and none of that. And you just couldn't keep up with it. But that same energy was when I was working in the ag service industry. Spring and fall were just going very demanding. And when I woke up with that energy, it's like you're recreating it. You're recreating that energy with your finances. Stop it. Mm-hmm. So to me, freedom is living without fear.
Okay.
Not that you don't have bouts of it, but not being in a state of being in fear.
Constant fear. Yeah,
Constant fear.
Absolutely. What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
Awareness. Without a doubt. My accountability partner calls me an awareness ninja. She says, you are so aware. And it's, yes, I'm aware, but then the old me wants to belittle or guilt or shame because that I fell into this lower vibrating emotion. There's nothing sinful or wrong about experiencing these lower vibrating emotions, such as grief and despair and powerlessness. It's just a guide marker. If you're driving down the road and you see the sign grief and you pull over there, the question becomes, how long are you going to stay there?
Exactly.
Are you going to camp out? Are you getting a luxury hotel over here? What's going on?
Or is it just a pit stop, a quick pit stop?
Exactly.
How do you define success? What does that word mean to you?
Success to me is to be able to feel that freedom, to be in that emotional state, no matter what I'm doing.
Love it. What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Empowerment is a state of being. Empowerment is a state of being.
Okay. I love that.
It's at the same high vibration as appreciation, love, knowledge, wisdom.
I love that definition. Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section. So the next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3 word answer type thing. Okay. What is your favorite place on earth?
Outside.
What is your secret or hidden talent?
Quickly connecting.
Okay. If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Free will.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Coffee, wine, and chocolate.
So we got 3 of them. All right. One book that changed your life.
Ask and it is given. The Teachings of Abraham.
Okay. What is one word that sums up your mindset?
Awareness. We keep coming back to that.
Yeah. What's one word that defines the woman you're becoming?
Goddess.
Beautiful. That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I created a bonus question that I did not send you ahead of time. What is one habit, ritual, or practice that has been an absolute game changer in your personal growth?
The automatic writing and journaling.
Okay.
That's my go-to.
That's a non-negotiable?
It's pretty much a non-negotiable. So if I would not reach out to my accountability partner, and I learned a lesson there, because the next time I have an experience, which I won't mention, if I ever have an experience like that again, I will definitely reach out to her, because I drove over to the station of powerlessness, and I stayed there for quite a while. And after about 3 days of it, it said that you need to get out of this. You need to drive out of here. And I was finally able to make that connection with Source on paper, which had me step back and view it from a different perspective.
Okay. If you were to introduce yourself to me without mentioning your occupation, where you're from, your ethnicity, your religion, where you grew up, your hobbies, all the day-to-day superficial bullshit markers that we use, how would you introduce yourself to me?
I'd play it safe. I would say that I'm a mindset teacher and an author.
Okay.
So the authorship kind of leads into some of the other stuff, because not knowing someone, I really play the whole Chandler thing very cautiously.
Yeah. Okay. If you could step into my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
Regret. Any regrets in your life?
Okay. Do you have any regrets?
Yes. And that is doubting myself and not believing in myself has kept me from this from manifesting my desires.
Okay.
So it's really slowed that process down. If you want to kill a dream, you throw doubt on yourself.
Yep.
You second guess yourself. Yeah.
For sure. If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
Louise Hay, hands down.
And
Louise Hay. She's over my shoulder. And I do have these conversations with her. So she is one of the prime reasons I'm writing this book. So she actually, my partner he's fire chief for a local township, but he's very active in the tri-state area, and they have a fire conference every year. This was down at the Dubuque Grand Harbor. Beautiful place, but we usually got a room overlooking the parking lot in the casino. This year, this few years ago, we got a room on the riverfront, and it was a cold October morning, and it was really windy, and the river span in Dubuque is really wide, so the wakes were pretty high. And she had just passed in, I think, August. I would have to look up her date of death, but I was just getting into this, starting to figure out metaphysical. Somebody had put me, I think it was my chiropractor, put me onto her. And I thought, man, what an elegant lady, just poised and graceful. And I wasn't even sure how to pronounce her name. I'd just been introduced to her. And I was sitting there thinking, boy, it would have been nice to meet her. And all of a sudden, I heard her voice. And it's like, she got her start at 60 years old. And that's when she came in. She said, "You are younger than me, my dear." And she said, "We need you to write like a wave of writers. There will be a wave of writers. We need you to write." And with that, she was gone. And I picked up my notebook. I was starstruck. So I picked up my notebook and was trying to recreate it. And I've got that hanging on my office wall. I've got these little blurbs. And then I've got that's going to be my forward in the book.
Beautiful.
She has such a beautiful energy. I have a picture of her and Reed Tracy on my cabinet wall here. And I've got the fan on now, so it just kind of waves back and forth. And when my fan is not off, but that's how the angels get my attention. And when that one goes, I know it's her. So if I could sit her down in a room, it would be like, what was your breakthrough? It's like, why would I have to imagine this? All I have to do is ask her. So it's taking the time to get quiet and do that interview with her. And anybody can do this. And this is where we're at with the energy of the world, is that people are realizing that even though you die, you're still here.
Yep.
You're in the air we breathe. And at any point in time, we can tap into that.
Yep.
Again, I have said and told myself that they're out there and I'm here.
Yeah.
No, they are out there, but they're in us breathing. Go back to that medicine wheel. That energy flows through you, out and around, circulates down and around.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for sharing that, Ann. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
To love her, and I've done this work, to hold her and let her know everything's going to work out just fine. That scared little girl.
Yeah.
Which she's taught me a few things.
Lastly, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your tribe, your corner of the world, your people, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
Embrace yourself. And my new lead sentence, come to the level of stillness to hear the wisdom of your soul. That's what I'm about, is if you are struggling with connecting with your inner being, that's what my work is all about. Because I don't want you to suffer like I did. Beat yourself up, tell yourself you're going nuts, you're going crazy, and that this isn't real. No, the skin suit isn't real.
Yeah.
Or just a hologram. And wrapping your head around that, and then when you start to get into, and I know not everyone believes in past lives, but I've had personal experience with it. Your soul is that vast that it's like having a big toe in every lifetime and they're all happening at the same time. That is your right to tap into that. That's a whole nother topic on the Akashic field, which is freaking cool.
Yeah.
Because I just channeled that vastness of it. Just amazing. And I've had past lives where it was generational. So that past life was connected to my mom's past life. And when I healed, this one over here healed. And she didn't do anything. She didn't know anything about it. But because of that connection, it happens. And that's why people who have that light, who are in that state of appreciation, maybe they know nothing about the metaphysical. They are powerful beings because they are in such a state of being that everyone they walk by is touched by that person. They may not feel it. They may not acknowledge it, but they just raised up a little bit more from where they
It happens. Yeah. I love that. And thank you so much for being here with me today, for taking and making the time to share, to allow me to share in your story and your journey and the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do. It is an honor and a pleasure to have had this opportunity. I've thoroughly enjoyed our conversation, and I am so grateful to call you a friend and to have you as a member of the Empowerography community. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you for having me on. It felt so good. You know me, I can talk for hours.
It was an absolute pleasure. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Ann Klossing. She is an intuitive mentor that uses the concepts of mindset and the law of attraction, a channeler for we, a collective consciousness of creator energy, an author, and a Reiki master. Thank you so much, Ann. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
I will.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca, follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast, and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.